There we go. No intro. Thanks for listening to the AZ12 podcast. I'm your host, Mike Luke, joined by Matt Rain. Hello, Matt Rain.
Hello, Mike Luke. Good to be back again today to talk about Arizona athletics. Happy to start on time, and hope everyone's Thursday is going well.
Yeah. Take that, Nick. Nick says, want to bet the show doesn't start on time? Yeah, give me your money now. Take that. All right, we're going to talk a lot. We're going to talk, obviously, Arizona basketball. We're going to talk Carter Bryant. We're going to talk the Big 12. We are going to talk some Arizona women's basketball and the ceiling for Arizona football. And it's tepid. You don't want to put the ceiling too low because who knows how good this could be. And it was on time, Nick. Take that. It was absolutely on time. Take that. Okay, now, but let's start the elephant in the room. Obviously, Carter Bryant. I would imagine that he is going to be announced, or this has got to be announced here shortly. Here's where I'm at, Matt. I believe, and I was talking with Aaron Torres on the phone earlier today, and the first thing that he says is, he's like, man, if Carter Bryant comes back, that's a top 3 to 4 team in the country. Yes, he's right. Carter Bryant, please come back.
Yeah, it is a top 4 team, top 5 team in the country, depending on what other pieces fall into place for other teams. And honestly, Mike, the more I've thought about Carter's decision-making process, and again, like, we don't have an insight into what he's thinking or what his family's thinking. I kind of think, though, the longer this goes on, the more likely it is that he returns. I mean, clearly, of course, he is considering it. He's talking with people. Potentially, he's talking to, NBA scouts and whatnot. But I don't know, man. The fact that you don't want to read into the tea leaves too much, but the fact that he's retweeting, Michaela Purdue's commitment to come to women's basketball, and they don't have a prior existing relationship, I don't know. That might tell you something.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. And again, I think the thing that when you look at him is, when you look at what he's doing, when you look at how he's going about this, I kind of agree with you, man. The longer it draws out, the harder it is for Arizona, I think, to get somebody. And let's see here. Yeah, like I said, I'm just kind of at that stage. Again, I got no inside information on this whatsoever, but I do think it's I don't think it's a bad sign for Arizona. And he does a ton of stuff. Obviously, 6'8", can shoot the three, can defend, a weak side shot blocker. I mean, he's really kind of that missing piece.
He is the missing piece, and there's not a guy in the portal that you can get to replace him. And obviously, the unfortunate part is if he does not come back, and let's say next week he announces he's going to the NBA, well, you've missed out on a lot of these guys. And, maybe you try to poach someone who's already committed to another team. Right. That's just the reality of college basketball now. But at the end of the day, no one can compete with what Carter Bryant would bring to this team next year. He's the ultimate difference maker for what this team ceiling is going to next year.
You know what I love about the fan bases? Fan bases are great. They say that how much they hate the portal, and they're like, yeah, like get rid of the portal, this or that. And they're saying it's getting rid of all the schools. Like, we developed Henry for somebody else, and then the very next post, it's like, yeah, let's get this guy from New Mexico. It's interesting. What is your thoughts on the portal, Matt Rain?
The portal, I think, is a concept that I agree with, and I think it's good, giving players movement and flexibility. Like, the fact that for how many years college coaches could just dip and leave their teams and make millions of more dollars, that never felt right to me. I believe that players ought to be getting paid, but it's the Wild West. Like, there has to be some rules and regulations on this. And I'm a law guy, and I'm hoping that there's some restraints that are put on this, because right now, when you've got BYU going to Rob Wright and saying, hey, man, we're going to give you $3.5 million.
Yeah.
It's just, good for him. I'm not begrudge him for taking it, but it's tough.
Yeah, Vegas Falcon, $20 super snap. To all the haters complaining about the ad read, suck it. It's called capitalism. That's for you, Joseph. Joseph keeps complaining about the reads on the show. I will not change, Joseph. You can take that. And go somewhere else with it. Appreciate you, Vegas Falcon, $20 super snap. Okay, now let's talk then a little bit about where the points are going to come from, and then we're going to get to kind of the Big 12 is going to be interesting this year. So you lose Caleb Love, and I know there's a lot of people out there that for whatever reason thought Caleb Love sucked. They're wrong. But listen, I think that I think Burry's going to be about 13, 14 a game. I think Koa Pete's going to be about 13, 14 a game. Bradley, similar. You know what's interesting, though? When I look at it, though, the center position with Tobe and with Mo Krivas, last year, Tobe averaged 8 and 8 in 20 minutes. Let's just say that he goes with that one again. And then let's also say that with, let's say that Mo Krivas, let's just say Mo Krivas goes 11 and 5, something like that. You're looking at like 22 and 13 from that 5 position. Now, I don't think any of that's unrealistic, Matt Rain.
I don't think so either. I'm hoping even more from. I'm hoping even more from Krivas. Like if you're 7-2, you should be getting more than 5 rebounds a game.
Right.
And look, that front court has potential to be the best rebounding front court in the United States.
Yes.
Because Tobe, we know, is the second best rebounder last year in college basketball. If Krivas comes back and he moves maybe from a glacier to, a little bit more liquid, a little more melted, a little more loose. Yeah, we got to get him moving. If he's able to move a little bit more than he did last year, that front court is going to be really good. But Krivas is the question mark, and we'll see how well he does next year. Obviously, we don't know.
All right, Joseph's talking more nonsense in here. Mike avoiding his little debate with Prim. Here's my problem with you Gen Zers, including you, Joseph. Everything is reactionary, and that's why I like Matt Rainey. He's a Gen Zer that's not reactionary. Putting out that next year's team could be the best team in school history is silly. It is wrong. Also, I can think of players beyond Carter Bryant coming back that would have been far more influential. I think Gilbert Arenas coming back for a junior year instead of being a second-round pick might have been something. You think Will Bynum being the point guard instead of Shakur in 05 would have meant something? I can keep going. You back off there, Joseph.
Well, Mike, the other point to add to that too is, do you remember before the Ayton year and you had PJC and Trier and Alkins, and I mean, we all were talking about this was like the greatest college team of all time.
Mm-hmm, right.
And then they went to the Bahamas and they got their butts beat.
Yes.
And then literally we can talk all we want about preseason expectations, and I trust Tommy and I trust the roster he's building. But the reality is that you do not know how your team is going to perform until you start playing the games. We saw that this year. We'll see it again this year. But to say, I mean, look, we don't know. Maybe it is the best team of all time, but unlikely.
All right, now, Mr. Cello, Nifty Cello. Yes, I will find 10. I have no problem. I will find 10. Now, Kobe L. Thiel says this portal, the portal makes this not as important. Those guys were gone. Yes, Carter leaves, and we can just get someone else. Yeah, that's the only thing though. We got to get moving here though. If he's not coming back, we got to get moving. We got to get somebody in here because we got some money to spend. Like when you go to like Dillard's. Is Dillard's still open? Is Dillard's still a thing?
Oh boy, I don't know if it is. I used to go there as a kid all the time, and I think they've closed most of them.
Yeah. Well, either way, you go there, you got like $100, and you're like, all right, I got to spend all $100 here. That's what we need to do at the portal. We need to spend money. All right,
Mike, let me ask you a quick question about Carter and kind of his decision.
Right.
Do you think, and just knowing kind of the program, knowing Tommy, and kind of having the insider perspective a little bit, do you think Tommy just straight up was like, hey man, just like take all the time you need. We'll be here. Or do you think he's like, listen, you gotta like tell me a little bit one way or another which way you're leaning?
I think they told him, you take as long as you want to Mr. Carter Bryant. That's just a guess, but I do think that they told him that. I think they like Carter a great deal. And this is just a guess. I have no inside information. I think Carter's coming back. It's just a guess. I have no information. Yes. And yes, Papa Shot, you are right there. Now, by the way, that nickname's taking off. The Governor. Yeah. Hola to Mike and the Governor, Matt Rain. Like it. Yes. Okay. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the Big 12 here because we're talked a lot about Arizona. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff going on. Let's pay a few bills here first. Got to pay a few because we got a little bit of a shorter show today, 12:45. So got to pay. All right, Green Valley Decorative Rock. Now you're slumming it where in North Carolina right now?
Washington D.C.
Oh yeah, slumming in Washington D.C. The tough streets of D.C.
The swamp, man. It's the swamp.
Although although there are some areas in D.C. that can be a little grainy. Yes, Matt Rain does not want to be the governor of that area. Okay, but either way, although you're a governor of all people, Matt Rain. All right, but those people there, do you think that they are pushing the crappy rumors about Green Valley Decorative Rock?
Probably, with how fast rumors fly in this town and the scurrilous rumors, Mike, the scurrilous rumors.
Yes, it's at where's the Baggins? We'll get in a second, Brown Bomber. But yes, these are scurrilous rumors. And again, they have been debunked. And that's why I think Green Valley Decorative Rock had one of their best months on record. We like that 50 plus, probably because people were like, it's in Tucson. I'm just going to go right up the road and do it. 50 plus locally sourced landscaping materials serving residents and contractors. Go there. You can get a lot of good stuff. Yeah, you're going to like it. You're going to like it. 2 convenient locations. Check it out. Tucson and Green Valley, but Tucson as well. Okay, what else we got? All right, RJ's Frozen Cactus. Now, there's going to be a UFC fight night May 10th. If you guys want to see, if you guys want to come hang out with me and watch some bare-knuckled brawlers, or I don't think they're bare-knuckled, but it's going to be there at RJ's Frozen Cactus. They have a very large parking lot. So Dennis Walsh, he will be parking his plane. Do you park a plane?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. In like a hangar, if you're on an airport.
Yeah. Okay. Well, his plane will probably be prominently parked. There's going to be RVs there, a lot of stuff. But again, it's going to be like a country thunder type environment there, maybe minus the Confederate flags. But either way, RJ's Frozen Cactus, my friends. Check it out. Pre-game at RJ's, then right here. Also, we're going to be having something on Cinco de Mayo as well. Yummy in my tummy. Working for that one as well. RJ's Frozen Cactus. No bad seats in the house. Okay. All right, let's get here. All right, want to talk a little bit about the Big 12 here. Let me ask you this, Matt Rain. Yep. Are people overrating Houston a little bit? And here's why I ask you this. You lost LJ Cryer, you lost Uzon, and you lost Jawan Roberts. I think with Jawan Roberts, that's whatever, because he's 10-6, but he's good. And you're replacing him with Pop Isaacs, who's been at like 35 different schools already. He also has I don't know. It feels to me like they're banking on some 5-star freshmen coming in. It feels to me like they lost a lot, and people are banking on a lot here that I don't know is necessarily going to happen there.
I think a lot of it is the respect that people have for Kelvin Sampson, which is due respect, right? I mean, the guy has put together some winning teams and winning basketball teams. And I think year over year, not only have his teams gotten better, but he's shown that he can adapt to, what the landscape of college basketball is. If you remember, the team prior to this year's team was a horrible 3-point shooting team. What does he do? He goes out and gets a roster that can shoot the ball. Right. So look, I think that's why I do not think they are as good as people are saying, Mike, to your point. And a lot of it comes down to those freshmen, just like Arizona, though, right? Like, I think Arizona's ceiling comes down to how well Burries and Pete do and Aristod. But also Houston, they got to rely on those freshmen. It hasn't really been the case for Kelvin Sampson that he's needed to rely on freshmen. So that is how high their ceiling will be, I think, this year.
Yeah, see, I'm with it. I get everything they're saying about Kelvin Sampson, never doubting him. But, at the end of the day, too, you're not just going to be the best team in the country every year. I mean, but that is one thing. They've struggled to score in the past. You lose Cryer, and we saw at the end of that game where you had 3 guards that had wanted nothing to do with the ball at the end of the game. We'll see. I'm not as high on them as many, but now I will say this: Texas Tech, if they get back Darian Williams, he is I would agree with that. Wildcat Fanalytics. He said Houston has a firmly established culture, thus the higher floor. Very, very much agree with this. But I will say this: when it comes to Texas Tech, I like Texas Tech a great deal. You've got Obi Toppin back. You've also got you brought in Lawan Watts. You've got the Hans Christian Andersen guy at the point guard position. I like that guy a lot, by the way. He's really good. And if they get back Darian Williams, that's a really, really good team.
It's a really good team. And Kobe says he's not sold in the backcourt because they might be 5'10" and 6'1". I guess, but you look at the overall talent that they're building, and I love the pieces that Coach McCaslin is building in the portal. You look at the guys that they've gotten from other places. They have length and size. And what's made Texas Tech so good and what they were really good at last year, similar to Houston, is that they had length and athleticism to compete at every single position. So it remains to be seen. But if Darren Williams comes back, I think Toppin might be – I think he's the National Player of the Year frontrunner, honestly. I mean, you have some other guys, but –
he's right there.
He's right there. I mean, he is amazing. They're probably a top 3, top 5 team.
By the way, I don't know. Wilbur's Big Burner. He and like 4 other people. I don't know if they're all the same people or if they're all friends. But it's like an Ashburn Lev, and then there's like have you seen that He Mather guy or whatever? And then like Jalen Wilson's driving school. I don't know if those are all the same people. If they're like different from like different variances.
Well, that's the thing, Mike. In college now, everyone has a burner account. I guess people are interested in sports.
Right.
Have a burner. Now, back in my day, we didn't have that. We had Twitter, but people didn't have burners necessarily. But yeah, interesting world today in college.
It is an interesting. These young bucks here getting frisky with it. Wasn't that the name of Will Smith's song? Getting frisky with it.
Something like that.
No. It was getting jiggy with it. Yeah, jiggy with it. Yeah. Okay. All right. Now BYU is interesting. BYU is going to be awesome. I very much like watching their coach. I think their coach is awesome. But you look at their roster, you bring in Robert Wright. Robert Wright is awesome. I think, out of Baylor, if anything, I think you could make a case that he's maybe a little bit of an upgrade at the point guard spot. I know Demon's a better prospect and all that. Richie Saunders is the man, a white guy that can get buckets. And DeBanza is obviously one of the 2 best players in the country coming in. You got Keita as well. I mean, that team's loaded, and supposedly they're in on either Darian Williams or who's like the number 1 player in the country that's going to reclassify, and he's like Teron Stokes or whatever. So either way, they are going to be good. BYU is a problem.
Yeah, they're a problem. And I think we saw the pieces last year. And You're right. Kevin Young, their coach, I thought was phenomenal. They had some ups and downs at the beginning of the year, but you even saw the difference in how they played us the first game versus the second game. And frankly, Tommy got out coached that second game in McHale. And yes, that foul call, Tony Padilla, that should not have happened. But regardless, fantastic coach. But they have dudes all over the court now. Rob Wright's going to be even better, as you mentioned, from last year. Remains to be seen on AJ DeBanza, but we've seen his film. I mean, the guy can score.
Right.
I think they might be the favorite in the conference next year.
I
wish that wasn't the case, but here's the thing, Mike. Is it so crazy to think that the Big 12 could have 4 of the top 6-7 teams next year? It's
crazy. So you've got, so you would have Arizona, you would have Texas Tech, you would have BYU, and you would have Houston.
Yep.
Wow. I mean,
and then you have Kansas, who they're reloading. They're reloading.
Let's talk Kansas. Let's talk about Kansas here for a second. Bill Self, listen, I know a lot of people are out on Kansas and Bill Self the last 2 years. I actually give Bill Self a pass. Now listen, this year is going to be big for him. I get that. But at the end of the day, by the way, I like all these people coming in here that are getting all their information from Truly Donovan's Discord and then pretending that it's their own. I see you, Kobe L. Thiel. That's funny. But no, it's good. If you're not on the Truly Discord, you're also are you on the Truly Discord, Matt Rain?
I am not. It's you got to pay for it, right?
Yeah, it's like $6 a month or something.
Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad.
You should do it. I mean, it's the governor. I mean, just write off as a tax.
That's true. That's true.
For your future governor, governor payroll. All right, but let's talk Kansas here for a second. But first, got to pay a few more bills. What do we got? Harris Dental. Matt Rain, do you like your tongue?
I do like my tongue.
Yes. Now, also, here's the great thing though. If you ever come back to Tucson when you become the governor, before you become the president, you need to go to Harris Dental. You need that tongue, my friend. You need that tongue. And let's just say something happens and you're like, man, I need implants. Who knows? They have the championship package for you. Now, again, as everybody knows, that was my nickname in high school, but it also, they had championship package is great though, because it's for 1997. Get it? That's the year they won the national championship. It's funny. Get it?
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, get it. And it's everything too. It's like the dental implant and the crown. And again, it's all safe. You don't have to go to like Burundi, or you don't have to go to Myanmar to try to get cheap stuff. You can go there and get it done, or you can go there and get it done. Look how happy this person is in that picture. I mean, she's just thinking,
they look very happy.
She's like, man, I get to keep my tongue and get cheap service. Absolutely. At it's just great stuff. TucsonImplants.com, TucsonTeeth.com, my friends. Now, what else we got? Bridge Tech Communications. Now, a lot of people ask me, Bridge Tech Communications, my guy Tony here, 750% average ROI. Here's what you guys got to do, though. If you have a gym or you have a health or a wellness spa or anything like that, you need to get involved with this because Bridge Tech Communications pushes that one out there. Yeah, here's the deal, though. You and you're like, man, I can't get anybody to come to this gym. That's because you're not with Bridge Tech Communications. Bridge Tech Communications. T Burns, that was very funny. Help market your gym or health wellness spa. 100 plus health entities. They've done over a business with 1,000 people. It's great. BridgeTechCommunications.com. All right, Kansas to me is fascinating. You're bringing in the best freshman in the country. You've also got Badunga back or whatever his name is. That guy's good. But that's it. You need to bring.
I got Trey White. Transferred from Illinois, your favorite fan base.
Yeah, Illinois. Man, I was looking at their roster for next season. Very interesting. So you got Boswell and some guy named Ty Rogers who averaged 5 points per game, and then you got the two white guy twins with the Z last names. We'll be watching you from afar.
Arkansas.
Yeah. But Kansas is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, look, we always know Kansas and Bill Self are going to have the money to be able to compete for the top transfers. They missed out on a couple. Yaxel, probably my favorite transfer prospect is going to Michigan, and I think they actually have the highest NIL spend of anyone in college basketball right now. But look, they're going to be able to compete, but this is a big year for Bill Self. He clearly was very frustrated with his team last year. I think H-Dick, was good for them, but he didn't produce the kind of results that Kansas fans are used to. And if Kansas has another subpar year this year, they're a 7 seed. I don't know. I'm not saying they're going to move on from Bill Self, but it does become.
You start wondering, though. Yeah, I think they expected H-Dick to be a lot stiffer in the paint than he really was this past year, and he just wasn't. I mean, there was a lot of times when you watched him and you're like, this guy's just.
Well, he was pretty hard to guard.
Yes,
at times, and.
H-Dick doesn't have another redshirt year. To my knowledge, he doesn't. Yes, H-Dick was mid. Badinga, is it Badunga or Badinga? How's it pronounced?
I think Badunga.
Badunga. I like that.
But Badunga's coming back to Kansas. I think I think Bill Self probably was like, look, man, you didn't play as much as you wanted to last year. You're going to be our starting guy. He has a lot of potential, but that's the difference, I would say, Mike, between the Kansases of the Big 12, the Baylors of the Big 12, and teams like Arizona, teams like Texas Tech, where they've got way many more unknowns. I mean, obviously Baylor's entire roster left, and they're bringing in some dudes, but Scott Drew has some work to do. Bill Self has some work to do. Arizona, we just got to wait for Carter Bryant.
Just come back, Carter. You know what I don't get about Arizona fans? I'm going to keep complaining about this. Arizona fans can never be happy with something that's good. Yes, T Burns, I am not going to say that. Get your mind out of the gutter, young man. Listen. The narrative for the longest time was, well, Tommy can't recruit big time recruiting classes. Guess what? He brings in a top 3 class in the country. Well, Tommy can't develop players. Well, you're bringing back Jaden Bradley. You're bringing back Tobe Awaka. You're bringing back hopefully Carter Bryant. Now it's, well, he doesn't have a third point guard or a third ball handler. Dude, the perfect team doesn't exist, man. That's just not the way this is. That's where I don't really get this.
I don't either. And Mike, let me ask you about another Big 12 team who we know very well. What is the ceiling for ASU next year? I mean,
you got the key to my heart.
I do. But to give Bobby some kind of credit, he's brought in some transfers. You got a guy from Pepperdine. You have some scorers, but
this is your political hat on, Matt. I see.
I'm trying to be fair. I'm trying to be fair to ASU basketball.
They're gonna suck, dude.
Are they? I mean, are they going to be worse than like Oklahoma State? I mean, they're going to be 15th or 16th, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know who they have on their team. They lost. I know you got the guard from Pepperdine that averaged 10 a game. By the way, 15th in the Big 12 is the ceiling. I would agree with that. If you max out and everything goes just right, you could maybe come in at 15. They just don't have anybody. You lost all these guys, and being that fake Netflix deal or whatever that thing was that they planned on, all the guys got out of there immediately. So I think they're going to stink. Plus, they got you want to know a big scheme that's going on? So you know the Bashir Jihad guy, or Jihad Bashir, or whatever his name is. Yeah. So he doesn't have any eligibility left, but he's declaring for the portal. Not on my watch, young man. Not on my watch. I think there's going to be a lot of these ones where you're like, all right, do you really have eligibility? It's like when guys declare for the draft. Well, duh. I mean, you're a senior. You've exhausted your eligibility. Either way, I think
I can guarantee you right now one name that Bobby Hurley, and I don't have knowledge of this, but it's a hunch. Bobby Hurley is going to try to get Eddie Lampkin to ASU.
Oh my.
That is my prediction.
Yes.
And talk about a guy without eligibility. I mean, that would be Eddie Lampkin Jr. But he's just like the perfect ASU basketball player in my mind. He would be so annoying, but we'll see.
Great. Oh, by the way, Dick Wilson, the great Dick Wilson, Governor Rain, you're on AZ12 podcast, not speaking to CNN. I'm telling you, man. You can already see it. This guy, we will be paying our taxes to Matt Rain in the future. Yes, ASU losing Amir Ali is a big loss for them. Yes, Philip Montillo, Mike, when is the assistant coach? I would imagine May 1st. Now. ASU is going to suck though, and it's going to be awesome to watch. You know what I like about ASU fans is they pretend now. Their new thing is that they pretend that basketball doesn't exist and that nobody cares about basketball. Like, this thing March Madness, it's just a fleeting. That thing's going to go away in a year or two. Nobody cares. Nice try, Weebs.
Well, and this is what they're saying too. To your point, Mike, they're saying, well, no one even watches college basketball anyway. Like, they're not even saying that ASU, we don't care about ASU, but they're saying we do not care about college basketball. No one watches college. Well, I'm sorry that you guys suck.
Yeah, it's not our fault.
Yeah, it's not our fault that you guys have a horrible basketball program and always have and probably will. But you don't need to trash the entire sport. And by the way, Mike, they're acting like their football program is like a beast and has been for decades. I mean, you guys had a good year last year. Congratulations to losing to Texas in the quarterfinals, semifinals.
Congratulations on losing your first playoff game. Good.
Right. But that doesn't mean you're a powerhouse. I mean, we have people, remember, the guy in my comments on Twitter was trying to tell me that, ASU is a top 25 program.
Under no metric whatsoever are they a top 25. Yeah, they've finished ranked 7 times since 1990. You know who nobody cares about nationally, nor do they talk about? ASU. It's the same thing. See, Land the Man, great question. So a lot of people are saying Utah to the Big Ten. That's an interesting. I don't see it, but it is what it is. I don't have any inside information on that one though. I don't know. I will ask my sources, i.e. myself, and he just responded back and he said no. Yeah, but I love that thing that ASU does now where they just pretend that they're like, oh yeah, we're a football school. No. All right. Real quick, and then we're going to get to some Arizona women's basketball and some football. I have a pet peeve. By the way, isn't this cool? Have you looked at Tommy's schedule for next year? This is
amazing.
Arizona, UConn, Arizona, Auburn, Arizona, Alabama, Arizona, UCLA. Sign me up for 8.
I love it. And remember, Mike, back in the day, Lute Olson loved those non-conference schedules. And, we were playing Duke and UConn. Well, maybe not so much Duke, but we were playing really high-level teams and tough non-conference schedules under Lute Olson consistently. Miller, I think, had a kind of more balance. He wanted some cupcakes, and Tommy, I think maybe his first couple of years was into that too. But we're loading up, and I think that's the best way to prepare for March. And come March, maybe you'll have 7-8 losses, whatever it is, but you're going to be ready. And that's so much better to me than playing Alabama A&M 15 times.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Brad, the Bully Hudson says tits, which stands for trust in Tommy. I like, I agree with that. All right. Now, let's get to a little bit of Arizona football. We are a football school. Everybody knows this, and we're going to get to a little of Arizona women's basketball. All right. Arizona football. I'm going to be very clear on this, and I'm going to keep saying this, Matt. I don't care about wins and losses anymore. Don't care. Because if we have a really good season, we won't have a really good season next year. That's boring. I need to be entertained. I will not stand for not being entertained. If we're going to go 3-8, I want to lose games 58-46. And there's there's fire alarms going off during the game and all kinds of stuff. Matt, I run a very lenient ship when it comes to this. I want to be entertained. That's the biggest thing for me.
I want to be entertained, but also I want guys who actually buy into the program, who actually like the coach, and who want to play for the University of Arizona. And that's been the one thing that, sometimes has been missing, especially, of course, under a guy like Kevin Sumlin. Guys just didn't care. I mean, obviously Sumlin didn't care about U of A.
Right.
But, like,
what gives you that impression?
Right. But it's like it is unacceptable, obviously, to lose the way we did to ASU under Sumlin. And you got to compete, you got to fight, and you got, listen, you got to have a hard edge sometimes. And I think some of those Rich Rod teams obviously were outmatched, but they were fun. They were entertaining, and getting back to that style of play, I'm hoping we will get to this year and beyond.
And I do not count myself as one of these people. Did we not understand what we had in Rich Rod at the time? That you would win like 7 or 8 games each year, and you would be, yes, you're going to have guys that look like Mike and Matt out there doing it. But at the same time, you're going to lose every game, but you're going to put up 48 points on your bad games. I don't think that we realized what we had with Rich Rod.
I don't think so either. And obviously, hindsight's 2020 moving into Sumlin, because as you remember at the time, everyone loved the Sumlin hire. I mean, here's a guy who coached Johnny Manziel, and he was a high-level coach at A&M, and obviously that flamed out for a number of reasons. But, Rich Rod was great. If we could get back to that. I think what's working against Brennan this year is the expectations that were placed on him in year one. Normally when a new coach comes in, we'll see, it's a rebuild, but it wasn't a rebuild, right? We had guys that came back.
Right.
You had T-Mac come back. You had Noah come back.
And let's be honest, they just looked. And again, I am going to give this staff some credit here. They're out in the community. They hired a real OC. I got to give them credit for that. Last year, they just looked woefully out of place. It was, I still don't know what I was watching on the offensive side of the football last year. Yikes.
I don't know either. And so, that's got to be turned around this year. To the question, though, of what Arizona's ceiling is, maybe it is just kind of a general, we just want to see them be entertaining. But
you know what?
I don't know, man.
Yeah. All right. Now, they got a guy in here. I like Seth Daggy. I like, it's better than what I watched last year with Sal Capone. Oh, Sal Capone. By the way, Sal Capone, I found out your real name is not Sal Capone. You teased me, and I got very excited about it. You're still my guy, though. Here, you got to get the football out early. I think that they're going to have good skill position players. You got to get the football out early. We just talked about the ceiling for Arizona State basketball next year. What is the ceiling for Arizona football, Matt Rain? BCS or no, it's not a BCS. It's what is
College football playoff.
College football playoffs or bus?
Yeah, probably not that. I don't know what I think the ceiling is a bowl. I'll just say it. I'll say it. The ceiling is a bowl game, because if you can get that offense going, you have good skill players. We know that. If Noah can get back to his form, that's going to be fantastic. We have some good receivers that can get you to 6-6. I mean, that would be cool with me. The floor is bad. The floor is bad. But here's the thing. We talked about this maybe a little bit a couple times ago. If Arizona goes 2-10, 3-9, are they firing Brennan?
Well,
can you?
Yeah, I mean, listen. I mean, it's not my money. I mean, I can't even afford a Band-Aid to put over this blister right now. But so again, it's not my money. But I will say this: I think it's impossible to bring him back if you go 2-10 or 3-9. I don't know how, but I think it's impossible to bring him back at that point.
Well, so Andre Veras asked a good question: who has a higher ceiling, ASU basketball or Arizona football?
Arizona football.
Yeah,
Arizona football. Yeah, I mean, I think with Daggy in here, I think they're going to try to get the ball out quick. The one thing that does worry me a little bit is the offensive line is terrifying. When you move Chuba over from the defensive side, and you're like, all right, man, we got our guard now for all the year. That's not great.
I think terrifying might be
an
understatement. If I were Noah, and I love him, I love the kid.
Right.
I would not hold on to the ball for longer than like 2 seconds. And I'm not trying to bring down the guys that we have, the athletes we have. It's just the reality of the situation. Our offensive line,
Matt, that's more political speak. You don't have.
I know. I don't. But I don't like to trash college kids for no reason or college athletes. But we cannot compete to the level we want to on the offensive line, and obviously we know that. And that will be the biggest challenge, and you got to scheme around it. However they do that, I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Now, Nifty Cello, or Mr.
NFL.
Yeah. He says, hey, stop laughing at future MNFL O lineman Chuba. Wouldn't that be hysterical if Chuba comes in and he's just a road grader and he's just annihilating people? He's getting to the second level and throwing linebackers out of bounds and stuff. Oh,
yeah, maybe. Yeah. I think we do have
maybe
size.
Not happening.
Yeah. We have some size, but obviously that's my biggest concern. And then I think, Mike, the other question for Arizona football is, where can Brennan adjust from last year, right? Clearly, he has learned his lessons, supposedly off the field, right? He's getting more involved in the community.
Love all of that, for sure.
Me too. But let's see the product on the field, and let's see how the schematics play out, because, frankly, it's inexcusable the way it happened last year. It's inexcusable that we ran that offense whatever the heck happened last year. So Daggy, I'm have good thoughts for, but Brennan, he's got to get it together.
All right, I got a thought on this one and why you should root for Arizona men's football. But first, let's get into let's get a couple reads in here. A couple of reads. What do we got? Talk to me. Oh. Do you think that I'm sure you do, but do you think the Gen Zers in this chat know who's the rapper in that song? No chance. We don't agree with believe Joseph or Kobe knows who that is. Yeah, no chance. That's because they are young putzes. All right, yes, the young putz brigade. But either way, here's the deal. ComfortX HVAC, my friends. Here is the deal with ComfortX HVAC. Do you like saving $2,000, Matt Rain? I bet you do.
I love saving $2,000, Mike.
Yeah, but Matt's already got his tax break pitch for us when he runs for president. Yeah. Do you like $2,000? Yes. Now, either way, they will do a really good job for you again. And Cody, you got to put the merchandise thing in there. I keep telling you to do that. You're not doing it. But yes. And you go out there and they will take care of you. Small business with big savings built on trust, perfect track record, residential and commercial HVAC expertise. And they made Tony Gimino happy. That is an impossible thing. Get your HVAC system rocking and rolling right now because, it's getting hot out there, and you don't want to be hot with no air conditioning. No. Check it out. Yes, check it out. Boom. Okay. Now, what else we got? Talk to me. Is my mic acting up?
A little bit. It's kind of going in and out, but that's okay. I can still hear
you. All right. Either way, now Longview. Maybe that's because Andre Veras is coming on here then, and it's okay. Andre Veras. Here is the deal with Andre Veras. We will not endorse him. Not going to happen. Not on my watch. Just won't happen. But Andre Veras, we can guarantee you though that Andre Veras, he can get you ready though for your financial and investment, ready for today's market volatility. Is your plan built to adapt to economic shifts? What could your future look like? Give Andre a call and reference the AZ12 podcast for a complimentary initial meeting. But again, will not blame or will not endorse him. Highly recommend, won't endorse him. Again. Got to be very clear about that. Very clear. And if then one more person asks me about it, I might snap. Okay. Now, will Sheer endorse or Andre endorse Mike? I don't know. Yes. Then take all the bundled savings and invest with Andre. Yes. Very good call. I get people on Twitter saying, should I root for Arizona football next year? Yes.
Of course.
Yes. Listen, there's only one time in my life when I've rooted against Arizona football, and I make no bones about it. I wanted ASU to win that game by 800 points in Sumlin's last game, and it turned out that way. I couldn't have him back under any circumstances. I didn't want him back, and again, I didn't like having to do it, but sometimes you got to make some difficult decisions. Brent Brennan, by all accounts, is a good dude. He is and now last year's product was obviously bad. But at the same time, there's no reason not to root for him. And I'd love to sit here and say when they get 7 or 8 wins, or they're in the men's college football playoffs, and saying, yeah, good job, coach. But yeah, you root for him. I don't think there's a question.
Of course you do, because the better Arizona football does, the better Arizona athletics does generally. And Mike, you talked about it a little bit with Sheer, a couple shows ago, but the reality is that college football brings in the most money. They are the highest revenue earner in college athletics, and that is true for bad football programs, good football programs, and everywhere else in between. So the better Arizona football does, the better we are as a university, better athletics is. So people, please support Arizona football. I know it's tough sometimes, but let's do it, please.
Yeah, like you said, one of the best lines ever from Matt Rain was, "Oh yeah, Mike, you're gonna drive people crazy with men's football, and I'm here for it. Yeah, it's a movement, baby." Like I said, I've said this before with Matt on the show, is it's like Matt messages me one time. He's like, dude, what the heck is Chief's problem? I'll use your guys' term. He's crashing out over Arizona football. Dude, who cares? I agree. Have fun, expect nothing. And you know what? Have fun in the process. That's the way that I would put it. Yes. Yep. All right. Now let's talk some Arizona women's basketball. My Becky Burke. Very much like Becky Burke, hitting the ground running. We got some nice transfers coming in here, Matt Rain, including a conference player of the year.
Yeah, Mikhail Purdue, I think, is going to be a great fit with this team. But Mike, I think the addition that Becky Burke is making, that I think is the best. What do you think? What do you think that is? Who is she bringing in? That's the A+.
Julie Brazzi.
I
think she's a Catfoot alum, is she not?
Legend. Catfoot legend, and 1996. Really, I mean, that's when Foothills pretty much opened, and so they're, she's a fellow Kenley and Foothills legend like myself. But fantastic hire. Julie is an amazing coach, and what a get, Becky, to be able to get her to come and be an assistant on the staff. I love it.
And I don't think there's any way that this would have happened if Adia Barnes was here. I don't think the ego would have allowed it under any circumstances. But yes, I would agree with the Nifty Cello Chief still there. But that Ant Wright, boo! Don't invite me onto your show and then not let me on. Mess with Paul, you get the glove. So anyway, some ASU, you'll like this. So some ASU fan DMs me yesterday, and his handle is like ASU for life or something like that, which is like the dumbest Twitter handle ever. And then he says, yeah, man, I don't know if you saw this video going around about you. And it's the video where I'm cheering. And I said, yeah, the video that came from my account that I put out there. Yeah. And then he says, no, you didn't. And he sends me the Ant Wright one. And I said, hey, buddy, why don't you go ahead and click on who he's quoting? And he's like, and then I said, yeah, that's what I thought, punk. Best Paul, get the glove. But yeah. So I like it, though. I think it's a breath of fresh air. I also have a hot take here. Is hot take still a term that people use?
That's still a term, but there's a difference between a hot take and a scorching take. Right? There are different degrees of hotness. So is this just a regular hot take, or is this like a scorching take?
It's a good question. I'm going to go in between. I'm going to say a lukewarm take.
Okay.
Get it?
I get it.
I actually think that DRF is going to put more money into women's college basketball for the U of A than some people are actually letting on, because she is a prideful woman. That's awesome. And I think she knows what Adia Barnes is saying about her. Duh. And I think she is going to up the ante just to be able to sit there and say that, look at this one. Look at it. So again, Becky Burke's making $675,000. Her assistant pool $900,000. She's getting in on women that are upper tier transfer portal candidates. I think for a couple years at least, we are investing in women's basketball.
I think so too, and I think there's a difference between realizing, like women's basketball, loses money comparatively to other sports, but regardless, I think we still have to invest in women's basketball because, it's a good return on investment for the university when women's basketball does well. I think what DRF was looking for, Mike, and you can agree with this or not, which I think you probably will. She was looking for someone who is a partner and someone who she could trust and someone who's a community builder. Clearly, the relationship with Adia deteriorated to such a degree at the end that she couldn't trust Adia. But moving forward, I think she's going to trust Becky to build the program. She's going to give her the necessary, like I think people, and Mike, you can back me up on this. I think some people were saying, "Oh my, DRF doesn't care about women's basketball. She doesn't care about this program. She doesn't care about what
she doesn't like women."
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it's all right. Joe, yes, there's a lot of pearl clutchers out here right now. But again, I am in on Becky Burke, and let's see. Yes, very good, Joseph. I love that term, by the way, Kobe. But yes, Dennis Walsh. Listen, I'm kind of on the same page, but again, we need to support Becky Burke here. Also, here's the other thing too that I'm going to say. Do you guys hate or how big is hate watching for the younger folks? Because for me, it's big. Everything for me is Arizona, but then I have a list of teams, depending on the year, that I root against, and it makes the season and makes it more interesting. This past year it was Colorado football and and Washington football got me through the year, and then basketball, obviously Illinois, duh, and then ASU. Next year we are adding women's basketball to the equation. SMU, I will be hate watching against SMU. Boom. Said it right there.
Number one hate watcher of SMU. And I don't even know, SMU obviously has a lot of resources. They're a very rich university. Maybe Adia does well there, but it got to the point where the relationship with the university was untenable. And Becky, I think, as she tweeted, a week ago, he's like, I think people are going to be surprised by the roster that she brings in. People have already been surprised. I think this roster could be competitive next year in the Big 12.
Hey, did you see the tattoo that the one has? She's got a Gilbert Arenas tattoo.
That's sick. That's amazing. I saw that and I was like, destined for U of A. I love it.
Yes. Let's see here. Lane Allen says, I enjoy hate watching, but don't get as invested as ASU fans do it against. See, that's the thing, though. The people that like what I will never understand is the people that like week is ruined by if their team loses or not. Dude, get a life, man. I mean, you're not 6. You know who I give the younger folks some credit here. You know whose week is absolutely ruined if Arizona loses? Prim. Yeah, no. I would not want to be like unfolded laundry being thrown at that door or something if Arizona loses.
That was me when I was probably like 6 or 7, and I remember a particular time we lost to USC. I can't remember the exact year, but I was so upset. I mean, I would literally go in my room and like have a temper tantrum. It's a little bit better now, but look, at the end of the day, this is fun. This is sports. Right. We love to talk about it. We love to watch, but if you're crashing out over Arizona football or Arizona women's basketball,
yeah,
it'll be okay.
Chief crashing out
over like backup quarterbacks. Remember that was the whole thing?
With Kevin. Remember Kevin Doyle?
Yeah, right. He was like obsessed with Kevin Doyle, right?
Yeah, he said that Kevin Doyle was the best quarterback to ever come to Arizona, and Nick Foles was like, hey. Either ways, back to Arizona women's basketball for a few minutes here. Get on that Facebook page. Like I said, they have added over 600 people. We need to get them to 6,000. Boom. And because now I have to post them on there. But, Matt Rain, my Esperero Canyon Middle School brethren.
That's right.
Esperero. Oh, nice, man. You guys,
Esperero Middle School,
you guys slumming it there in Esperero Canyon. It must have been a tough life. Yeah. Dodging gunfire as you're going to school.
Where did you go to middle school, Mike? Again?
I went to Gridley Middle School. Gridley on the east side.
And then you went to high school where?
At Saguaro High School.
Okay, that's where my mom went. So shout out Saguaro.
I was going to say, you clearly come from good stock. So that does not surprise me that she went to Saguaro.
Andre Veras went to Esperero.
Andre Veras. I wonder if he'll endorse Esperero.
I don't know. He might.
Canyon View or Ventana Vista?
I went to Canyon View.
Canyon. Is there like a big rivalry between the two schools?
Maybe a little bit. The only 2 elementary schools in the district, but
oh my gosh, Naylor is tough. Holy moly, that Naylor is Big 12. Bobby, you have street cred. Naylor is one of the toughest middle schools I've had. It's on like 29th and Columbus or something.
Yeah, it's down there for sure.
Yeah. Oh, good. Big 12 Bobby, you made it out there, man. You're like, you ever see those like kids that like, they like make it out of like Sudan and then they're like talking about like, I made it or something like that, or like Eastern Europe or something. Yes, it's very, very important.
Well, we would go and not to get too off, but we would go and play, different high schools in Tucson, obviously. And, they didn't like us, and that's okay. It's okay. They didn't like us, but Yeah, but we always say we don't assume. We don't assume. But
hold on. Kobe L. Field just messaged me. This better be good. This better be good.
he said big time.
Oh yeah, Andrei Stojakovic has entered the portal. Is he going to Illinois? Anyway.
Ooh.
Oh, interesting. Oh, is that what all these Illinois guys? Yeah, I don't care about that. Yeah, if that's the best you got, I don't care.
He's good. He's really good.
He's good. Yeah, he is good. Okay, now, real quick, we got to get a couple more reads in here. A couple more reads. What do we got? Talk to me, Matt. Where'd you go?
Oh no,
Matt.
I've disappeared. Mike,
Matt.
Where are you?
Matt, I don't see you anywhere.
I don't see you either, man.
Oh gosh.
Oh no. There we go.
Arizona Primary Eye Care. I am going to be there later today. AccuView is now offering $400 towards contacts, $150 for disposables. Arizona Primary Eye Care, proud partner of Arizona Athletics. Again, they got 4 locations. Let's get them filled up there. Arizona Primary Eye Care, though they are absolutely great. And again, Cheryl is the best. Very much appreciate Cheryl. Check it out. Optical options to fit all budget styles and preferences. Arizona Primary Eye Care. I will be there later. What else we got? Is that it? All right. Oh, Baggins. Everybody go to Baggins today. I got the Albuquerque turkey. Very, very good. Very, very spicy. Albuquerque turkey is very good, though. Use code AZ12 for 15% off. Again, join a VIP text club. Text Baggins 877-797-044 for special deals, and everything gets us. Every sandwich comes with a cookie. All right, now, real quick, Booth Fickett, a bunch of cheaters. So when I was growing up, every single year they would have like new players that were not in the Booth Fickett area. Like one year, like Bryce Cotton shows up there, and it's like, okay. And you got this 5'6" kid who's dunking in warm-ups and stuff, and it's like, oh, it must be nice. Yes, cheater pumpkin eaters.
That's tough. That's tough.
Now, Andre Veras does have a lunch date tomorrow at Baggins. I wonder with who. All right,
with Mike Luke.
Maybe with Mike Luke. Okay. I've got to go to the bank. Subtle flex. But we will be back with you tomorrow at 10:30. Matt Rain, you are the man. Where can they find you on Twitter?
At Rain on Wildcats on Twitter. Easy enough.
That's all you got to do.
REIN.
Yeah, and Iron Mike Luke. And again, you guys are fantastic. We appreciate all of you. TTFN, Todd for now. Oh, Townsend, another. Like I said, Naylor's difficult, man. I'll be back with you tomorrow. You've been listening to the AC12 podcast.